Hey everyone, welcome to the Ottawa Herald podcast. On this episode, we talk with Roger Maxwell, the president of Kansas State Bank here in Ottawa. Check below for the show's description. Thank you for listening, and let's get started.
Well, my name's Roger Maxwell. I've been with Kansas State Bank for 26 years now. It's through a holding company, or actually a family that owns us, and I've been with that family for 26 years in various roles.
Well, Roger, as of this last year, the Kansas State Bank has been operating in Ottawa for 100 years. In your mind, what does it take to keep a bank in operation for a century?
Well, I'll start off with the fact that we did start a little over 100 years ago. December 26th, we celebrated 100 years. We started with the Hill family back in 1917, and they saw the foresight to put a bank in the northern part of Franklin County, moved it to Ottawa about 1926 because there was a large need for people to have a blue-collar bank. There was a large number of people working in the area, so they started that process. And we carried on with that tradition for a number of years. Still do the same thing today. It's a community-minded bank.
What does Kansas State Bank see as it looks forward to the next 20, 50, or the next 100 years?
Well, I think the point that we want to make is the fact of what we've done in the last 100 years, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. And basically, when we look back, we think, what really got us to where we're at today, and it's really based on community banking. We know our customers. We greet people when they come in the door. You're not a number. You're a name. You're a person. And we do things maybe a little on the old-fashioned way, but it's more on a personal level, and that's what we're going to continue to do in our next 20, 50, or 100-year process. It's not about changing things and turning people into numbers. It's about taking care of our community, and we reinvest back in our community. It's very important that we help provide alternatives and opportunities for people throughout the whole entire county.
Roger, we as citizens hear narratives of economic growth and progress from our local government leaders, and rightly so in our area. We've seen a lot of new businesses spring up even in the past 2 years. But from your vantage, working in the private sector as president of Kansas State Bank, what kind of economic shape is Franklin County in?
I think overall, Franklin County is in pretty good shape for a couple of reasons. I think we've had some growth that kind of helps us get us to that new level, but also there's things looking down the road that we have a lot of future to move forward. We've got an opportunity from the standpoint of location. As we look at appraisals and different things throughout the community, and as we look at appraisals from our loan standpoint, we talk about location, location, location. And that's what we're at. We've got a good location. We're at a crossroads with 59 and 68 highway, plus also the interstate highway traffic, and also the metropolitan area moving out to us. We just got to be able to be open and have some good ideas and how to accept some of those changes. And that includes the new industrial park as well. We need to make sure if we can develop that and get people in it, and then we got to be able to have enough individuals to work in that environment.
Is proximity to metropolitan areas like we are, is that ever a bad thing? Do we ever lose business to?
I don't think we lose a lot of business to the metropolitan area. It's part of what I call it's part of the life cycle, and we appreciate the life cycle from people outside our community. Everybody wants to kind of make one step up when they're doing some purchases and acquisitions. We enjoy the luxury of having people come from Osage County, Coffee County, Anderson County, Lynn County, and some Miami County people that come to our metropolitan area because it's a little larger community than what they live in. I know we lose some of our retail trade to some of the metropolitan because people think that they need to make a step up, and so we kind of go to the Overland Park areas and also the Olathe areas, and then those type people will go to the plaza and the inner city aspect of it. But we need to keep a little more of those. If we can attract some more businesses and have a higher variety, that's what we need to continue to do and keep our downtown stores full.
And we've kind of been trending in this direction, but what economic areas from your vantage point have room for improvement, and do you see them improving in the future?
Well, I think I'm not going to pick on one particular one because I think we all, we including as banks in our community, I have a philosophy is if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. There's nothing about standing still in today's world. You have to be able to adapt to the environment and be ready to be open to change. And if you're not open to change, then your success is probably going to be slim. In our banking world, we had a great foundation 100 years ago with basic checking. And the foundation that checking took us a long ways. But now we're in the world in the electronic fields. You have to have online banking products. You have to have mobile banking products. You have to have remote deposit capture. So we're not just sitting still with what we've done in the past. Yes, we do the same thing we did 100 years ago, and that's provide excellent customer service. But we've had to adapt to other products. And I think everyone's the same way. They got to keep their head up, keep looking down the road, and see what we need to make for changes for the future.
Speaking of that transition from mainly paper-based to using a lot of electronic systems, as a person who's been with Kansas State Bank as long as you have and you've seen some of those transitions, what's that shift been like? Has it been problematic?
It's been good. It really has, and there's a lot of people. And as we deal with the people in the 50s, 60s, 70-year-old market, we still have to continue the products that they like and they expect. Paper statements mailed out to them on the same day every month. And then we have the younger people that really don't want to come to the bank on a daily basis or weekly. In the past, it was basically one of their exercises for the week, and their public relations is bring their paycheck to the bank and make a deposit. Today, everybody gets their paycheck, or majority of people is getting it electronically sent to the bank. They're living off their debit cards. They're living off the ATM aspects of it. So we provide different products for different sectors of people. So we cover the full gamut.
Well, kind of steering back to some things we touched on earlier in our conversation, on your bank's website, of course, you emphasize the locality of Kansas State Bank. Why is it important for a bank to be involved and ingrained in the local community to the level that Kansas State Bank is?
Well, I think it's part of that giving back program. We try to be what we can be as much as we possibly can. There's a limits for everything. Just before I came over here, there was like 4 things that's sitting on my desk asking us to be participating back in the community. One of them is like the ORC programs. We participate in signage and different things that we possibly can there. We also help out with several different things through in the community with the Franklin County Fair, different things that kind of affect the community as a whole. And we've got a couple things up our sleeves yet that I won't let out of the bag quite yet, but we're going to have an initiative with our employees to get involved in the community at different levels and kind of a reward program for them as well.
No hints as far as what that might be?
Not going to say any more.
All right. Cool. Well, Roger, how does Kansas State Bank stay competitive in a market that includes out-of-state and even nationwide banks?
I think I kind of led off our conversation with that, and that's community service and knowing the customers and understanding that we walk amongst everyone on a daily basis because we are community. It's not uncommon to go to a store and get 2 or 3 questions or comments from people as you go out and about. That's what we want to do. We live in a fishbowl. We want to make sure that, people know who we are, and we're very approachable. And that's why we have established the team that we have, is that it's very approachable, and people are very well known and very highly thought of within the side of our community as well. But to compete against the large-scale businesses is really to out-hustle and out-service the large-scale. They have to contact out-of-state organizations or parent companies or the head of the office. Everything's right here locally in our community. It doesn't go any higher than what we have right here locally. It doesn't go to California. It doesn't go anywhere else. It's all done here locally, and it allows us to react much quicker.
Roger, we've kind of looked at some different aspects of the community and in Kansas State Bank's strategy for success within the community. And kind of just to wind down our conversation, a personal question for you. When you aren't carrying out your responsibilities as bank president, what occupies your spare time?
Well, the bank president's job it takes a lot of time. When you have about 30 employees, it takes a lot of times and trying to look at things, what we've got going on currently and the kind of things that we're looking for to develop and bring down out in the future for our employees' benefits and also for our community, and do our research and also stay working with our regulatory requirements as well. So it does take a lot of time. In the past, I've enjoyed youth sports. I've coached, probably 12 years for baseball, 11 years in softball programs as my kids were growing up through those programs. Participated in the Franklin County Fair, worked on the fair board in the past, various Ottawa co-op boards, being very visible. Then if I try to get away, kind of stick the old ball cap on and the blue jeans on, I farm on a part-time basis too. So it gives me a little bit of peace and time, and also a little time to think about what else we want to do at work while you're sitting in a tractor cab.
Roger Maxwell, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. You can find more local content on the Ottawa Herald website at www.ottawaherald.com. I'm your host, John Jared Hawks. See you next time.